In Trinidad, not every story is just a story. Here are some true Trinidad paranormal tales if you dare to listen.
We are back with another Trini Paranormal, Trini Scary Story, Trini Folklore for you today. Please excuse my eye because it had Sahara and dust, and your girl decided to. That is why my eye looking so. But anyways, I know this kind of looking scary, but I have a story that was sent in to us that is probably 10 times more scarier. So let me know what you think. So our person said, "Hey Carissa, hope all is well. My little story is on shadows and it's a bit different. When I was around 9 or 10 years old, my mom and I lived with my grandfather. His current wife had passed and he remarried another lady. This lady used to deal up in a lot of bad stuff. She and my mom never used to agree, and she wanted both me and my mom to leave the house. So the day after, she would deal up in necromancy." Y'all are reading these things for the first time. But anyways, whenever we leave the house and we return, we would have to change our sheets. Our room would give up a sweet odor. Thank God my mom was a praying woman back then. My mom and I stayed in the master bedroom of all the 4 bedrooms that was in the house. It was the last room in the back of the house. We both slept on the same bed. I usually slept with my head at the tail of the bed, and my mom would sleep with her head at the head of the bed. We had no door to our bedroom, just a see-through curtain. So from my position where I slept, I could see straight through to the corridor. One night, I woke up and was just facing the corridor direction, where I swore my eyes were deceiving me. I rubbed my eyes, but for some strange reason, I was visually seeing a huge shadow in the shape of a man in the corridor approaching our doorway, wanting to enter the room, but not getting a chance to do so. Anytime I got closer to our bedroom, 2 huge shadows standing at both ends of the bedroom prevented the entity from getting in. Now I got scared and yelled, waking up everyone, saying that there is someone in the house. Now that I'm older, I guess those both huge shadows could have been angels, preventing whatever from entering the room. I don't know, girl, but I'm 32 and I've seen and experienced a lot of supernatural nonsense. So I know it's real. I just wanted to share my experience with you guys. Now, I do not doubt I've seen this for myself, where people tend to go length and breadth to get their way, whether it's land, money, property, jewelry, getting rid of somebody from the household. And I don't mean unaliving them, I more so mean just getting them to leave the house, getting rid of them, so to speak. Just wanting their kids to excel over other children. People tend to go to really dark practices to get whatever they want. So I'm just really happy that our person is safe. The mother was a praying mother, so was safe. But I know plenty of all you will have some sort of story about somebody doing all your family black magic to get their way, or some neighbor or some friend doing all the black magic to get your way. So if you are brave and if you want to share the story, hit me a DM. Let me know anybody ever do any black magic on all you. We are back with another Trini Paranormal, Trini Scary Story, Trini Folklore for you today. And this one is like a conspiracy theory. It's like a paranormal conspiracy theory about a place that is not considered just haunted, but it's considered to be like a portal for like paranormal creatures or evil creatures. So this area is the stretch by the UWI campus and the UWI campus itself. Now, I don't know if you all remember me telling a story before, but there was a story that I told where a person and her boyfriend, they were passing on the stretch by the UWI campus, and at the corner of her eyes, under a streetlight, she sees what seems to be a man crouching down, and his face is like skeletal and disfigured looking and grotesque looking, and he has like horns growing out of his head. And when she looks back, he's no longer there. And the second time they passed back to see if it was a prop for Halloween or not, while she's on the phone with her boyfriend, her phone suddenly goes dead. Now, we have an account from someone who has been in the UEDB campus. They are a security. They would like to remain anonymous. So I'm going to tell you what their experience is in that area. So a person said, so this is at the UEDB campus. I work security there for 4 years now, and whoa, that location is full of paranormal stuff. So it's back in December of 2021, working with 10 others, 2 at each area. I was close to the main road when all of a sudden, my coworker and I heard some loud, deadly scream of a woman, like she was in trouble. We thought it was someone on the road. When all the other coworkers started to message each other, all you hear that? This we heard again about half an hour later. So this is around 4 p.m. to around 5:30 p.m. or so. We called our mobile patrol to check it out. When they came down by the booth, they said that they heard it too and drove through the compound but saw nothing. About 6 p.m. now, we're getting ready to change shift and we heard it again. So curious, me and my coworker took a walk up the hill by the accommodation buildings. We looked all around and saw nothing, but we felt like we were being watched. Then we heard a loud sound like a door slam. Then we heard the scream again. This time the woman screamed, "No, please." When we watched on top the roof of one of the buildings, a woman dressed in a long white dress. Her hair was like it was tied, but it was missing on one side of her head, and her dress was torn and dirty looking. Mind you, these buildings are 4 floors high, but there's light on top of each. So we called our senior officer to call the police because we thought the woman was real. In no time, she jumped off the roof with the same scream we heard before, and before she reached the ground, she disappeared. Now, you know we didn't wait. We ran as fast as we could from there. Up to today, we still have stuff happening there. We can't talk too much about the location as it's closed to the public, but we've experienced doors opening and closing on its own, blood on the walls of the washrooms, and echoes of people talking and saying, "Get out of here, you don't belong." We have seen writing on the booth that says, "I'll be back." And these things are always late in the evening or in the night. Don't know if you ever heard about crossroads. And well, we have 6 crossroads on the compound. And my research shows that people of the compound, that part of the compound was built on a cemetery. Later on, I found out that the woman and her 14-year-old daughter was raped and murdered, and their bodies were thrown into the bamboo patch. The bamboo area is where the accommodation buildings were built. Our person went on to further saying, and you know, when it was COVID, the facility was a step-down facility and a lot of people passed during that time. And now, after the passing, there's a lot more stuff happening. Some officers leave because of how afraid they were at night. They said that they saw shadows and heard knocking on the doors and nobody was around. A few said that they felt like something pulled them down and was stifling them. So before we even begin to talk about that part, I spoke to somebody else, not the person from the story, but another person who said that they were speaking to family members who have frequented the area, and they said that that area always gives them an uneasy feeling. And one day they were passing very early in the morning because they frequent the market. They passed on the road right near the UEDB campus, and when they looked at the rearview mirror, they saw a woman dressed in white in their rearview mirror, only for them to be freaked out and to look back at the mirror again, and she disappeared. So a lot of people in and around the area, or who frequent the area, truly believe that that area is haunted, or it's a portal where a lot of evil creatures, paranormal creatures, the undead roam. So let me know, have you ever heard about places that are considered portals in Trinidad and Tobago? Or have you ever heard about the stretch by UWI campus being haunted, or any other parts of Trinidad? As a matter of fact, would love to know. It's a lovely day, we are alive and well, and it's another good day for a Trini Paranormal, Trini Scary Story, Trini Folklore for you today. So I'm going to read the story that was sent in to us and let me know what you think. So a person said, hey, so back in the year 2002, my family flew to the States and my brother, cousin and I lived alone. We were waking playing video games until one night around 11:50 p.m. we heard the sound of something or someone running around the house. It sounded heavy. We paused the game and listened. We had 2 dogs at the time. One was tied and the other was loose, and they got along pretty well. We heard like the dog which was tied fighting something until silence. We both listened and can hear walking in the yard, and note that the property was fully fenced and had a gate. I told my cousin quietly, if the gate open, we need a weapon. We heard the downstairs gate open and whatever it was ran up the stairs and hit the wooden wall bang. Very loud, and it started breathing very heavy like a cow. We were in shock, staring at each other. But the area we lived in had no animals, or nobody took care of animals at that time. So we both started to pray until silence. We told my family what had happened that day, and they thought that we were kidding until one of my uncles said that he was a kid and he experienced the same thing together with relatives, and they called it the beast. Now the area is a residential area in St. Joseph, San Fernando. So first of all, I would have been terrified if I'm hearing footsteps and heavy breathing like that. It sounds very scary, and it reminds me almost of the story that I told a few weeks back where a young man and his sisters at the time, they were in their bedroom, and there was a manifestation of this bullhead that looked like the devil itself. And it seems as though people have had so many experiences with something that looks like the devil or the beast. So let me know, have you all ever had an encounter with what you think may be the beast? We are back with another Trini Paranormal, Trini Scary Story, Trini Folklore for you today. And I have a story that was sent in. It's a long one, so I'm going to get into it. And just want you all to know, you Trini people, that you all are having some of the most scariest experiences in life. And for those of you who haven't had an experience yet, don't put it past you, because clearly 1 in every 5 Trinidadians seem to have a paranormal experience. So let me get into it. So our person said, it was on the 31st of August and I had just come from my father's mother's birthday celebration. I was slightly intoxicated but nothing to talk about. At the time, I was staying with my great-grandmother after she had witnessed her husband die at the home. I heard many stories about her being a sukunya, but I didn't believe it until I started to see things I could not explain. I was waking up every morning and with bruises and headaches and marks all over my body. I had often been weak and in pain, and I found items in the house that I was unable to explain what its use was for. I found cow hooves and boxes with locks. I was told to sleep with a glass of water by my bed, and every morning I got up, the glass will not be there. I often heard footsteps and strange noises, and I saw shadows running across the room. So back to the night of August. I was tired and I fell asleep on the couch around 4 a.m. that morning. I received a phone call from my boyfriend telling me that he was about to leave from work. After the call ended, I covered from head to toe while I heard footsteps of my great-grandmother. Before I could even close my eyes, I began to hear a sound like an old engine in my ears, and it got louder and louder. As I was approaching to remove my covers from over my head, I was unable to move or talk. The only words I could utter was hum. I could see to my left side, my great-grandmother was standing over me with a face of a demon. It was the most ugliest thing I had ever seen, and I saw her coming towards my face, and I got weaker and my eyes began to close and I was unable to move. I saw her white gown, my eyes completely closed, and all I know is was I began to pray. I was released from what seemed like 10 minutes, and I got so scared that I pinched myself because I thought I was going crazy or dreaming. I looked at the time and it was 4:20 a.m. Suddenly, I heard her room door open and her feet and footsteps were coming towards me. I said if only I saw her in the same clothes, I would run quickly. I covered once more and I pretended I was sleeping. She walked past me in the same clothes. I jumped out of fright and sat up and told her morning, to where she replied with an attitude and was as if she was angry and so I waited until she went to the toilet and began looking for the key to the door. I was so frightened I couldn't open the door. My hands were sweating. When I got the door open, I ran into the front yard. It was really, really dark outside. I ran up the road without looking left or right while running. I ran to a family relative that asked me what was wrong. I told her and she responded to me by saying, "You saw it too." When I looked over at my great-grandmother's home, she was standing by her window looking right at me. I didn't went to sleep until 9 a.m. after I got my mother to go for all my clothes from her home. Up to this day, I don't speak to her. And other cousins complain about hearing footsteps and children laughing. In case you were wondering where this took place, it took place in Mayaro. Let me tell you all something. So, usually when I get these messages, I don't read it out in depth. I will read parts of it to respond. So when I'm reading a story for you all for the first time, it's also me having the reaction for the first time because I'm seeing it in detail. And I am telling you all, I've never had an experience where someone sent me a message and the actual family member was at Sukunya. That must be traumatizing, but also a lot of people are sending messages from Mayaro. So Mayaro seems to be a place that is still very active. And I am assuming a lot of rural areas where supernatural can thrive, they tend to still be very active. So if you have ever had an experience with a friend or a family member who's dabbled in the occult, please let us know. And I hope that you all are okay. So we are back with another Trini Paranormal, Trini Scary Story, Trini Folklore for you today. And it's a bit late. And you know what's nice in the late afternoon? Hearing a scary story about shadow figures. So I have a story for you today, sent in to us. I feel like I'll give you all 2 stories today because you all were extra nice and it's Christmas time. So let me know what you think about this shadow story. So our person would like to remain anonymous, and he said, "Hi, this is a true story and it's about a shadow man. I woke up at 4:45 as I normally would do for work, and on this particular morning, nothing was unusual. I went to the washroom and I left my door slightly ajar because I'm the only one awake. So there are 2 doors and then the living room. Both doors were slightly open, and our dining room table normally settles with temperature. And so you would hear the crick-crack sound of or noise, which I had grown accustomed to. So I thought nothing of it. But this time, it was a bit more intense. By the way, the washroom walls are tiled walls. So each wall is tiled from bottom to top. And you can see yourself if you wanted to. So I looked up and saw a shadow coming towards the wall I was facing. It went up the wall to the ceiling and it disappeared. Needless to say, I finished what I had to do and I left for work, but I was not surprised at all. And I never said anything to anyone about it until now. Let me tell you all something. If I saw a shadow figure just running up the wall, going into the ceiling, I probably would not be able to move. I would be paralyzed in fear. I don't know about you all, but I'll be paralyzed. But anyways, we have time for a second story. If you're up for it, if you're not afraid of a shadow walking up your wall, stay for it. So our second story was sent in to us from the mystical Mayaro. And what I've heard is that Mayaro is buzzing with paranormal activities, especially in the nighttime. And I've heard from one of our followers that Mayaro is like an airport. Sukunyad is always be flying in the sky. But this is not about Sukunyad, it's about something else, and let's stick around to hear what our person said. So our person said, this is a story that happened in Mayaro. I was a little child. I was around 10 years at the time, and I grew up in Mayaro. And the village didn't have much houses, and the few houses that were there, most of them were separated by thick roseau bushes or wild cane. Right in the back of our house was a river which ran to the sea. My house was mostly surrounded by thick bushes, with one neighbor at a time. It was a late Saturday evening, and it was dark. It was almost nighttime, and my mother was making dinner inside, when I suddenly realized that I forgot to turn off the hose outside. So I took the opportunity to run out to turn off the pipe before my dad arrives home and comes to the back of the house. So to the back of our house, there was a little back track leading out to the next door neighbor, and there was a pipe to the side. But I could see to the back still. So as I leaned over to turn off the pipe, something caught my eye, and at the very moment, my little body froze. I remember my hair standing straight on my body, and I saw what seemed to be a tall, hairy, black figure with a hunch, and it was running out of the bushes towards the riverside. It all happened so quickly, and I remember running inside so fast to tell my mother what I now saw. I told her that I saw a hairy man, and she watched me and laughed and told me that I may be mistaken someone catching crab in the back, as there were always people in the back catching crabs. But I was small, but even though as small as I am, I knew that that day what I saw was not human. So other countries have really cool folklore like Santa Claus, but apparently in Trinidad the only red thing that we see flying in the sky is sukunyas. Or the only things that we see in the night is not Santa Claus coming into our house, but we tend to see shadow figures crawling up the walls. Or we tend to see hairy creatures that are running through the bushes. So let me know, Trinidadians, have you all ever had an experience of seeing shadows on your walls or hairy hunchback creatures to the back of your house?
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like for more Trini paranormal content.